Hello and welcome to Sing for Hull 2020 and today's Create and Make video. My name is Tom Lawrence from the Hull Music Service, and today's video is a little bit different because we are launching a new competition. The Music Service has had some brand new graphics made, which you might have seen at the beginning of this video, featuring our beautiful building, the Albemarle Music Centre, and the silhouettes of some other famous buildings around Hull. And the logo and the graphics are very slick and very flash, but at the moment they do not have any music to go with them. And we would like some of you to write the music to go with those graphics. Now, this can be in any form that you want. You can write out a completely notated piece of music, you can record a piece of music on your computer or on your phone, and if you have already got lots of experience of writing music, you might already be confident about how you are going to go about doing that. But we would like to encourage as many people as possible to have a go at writing some music for these graphics, because we want to use them in lots of different ways. So there's not just going to be one person who wins this competition, there's the chance for lots of people's music to be played, to be heard and to be used, whether it's on the website, on these online videos, or maybe even at live events or in the Albemarle Music Centre when people are waiting in the foyer before a concert. Those are the kind of times when we're going to be using these graphics and these brand new pieces of music. So at the end of the video we'll give you some information on how you can submit your brilliant pieces of music and where you can send them, but in today's video I'm going to be giving you a few quick tips if you've never written a piece of music before and you don't even know how to start. So first of all, if you've got an idea for a tune but you don't know how to write it down in the conventional way on music paper, or if you just think that's going to be too confusing, it's too complicated, it's going to take me too long, I'm going to lose my idea, it's perfectly fine to write down your tune in a different way. You can use some kind of graphic representation, some kind of picture to represent your tune, and I've got a very simple one on this board here. So in my head I've come up with this tune, and it's got this sort of pattern to it. It goes da 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 da. So I've written that out with lines on my board. So for the longer notes I've written longer lines, and for the shorter notes I've written shorter lines. For the higher notes I've moved the lines up, and for the lower notes down. Then what would make this graphic even better was if I can add some letter names, some pitches to these lines. So this is where you might need your instrument. You need to get your instrument out, play around, see if you can find the notes that you've got in your head. I've got the piano here, so I'm going to try and find those notes that I sang from my tune to add the letter names onto my lines. So when I sang the tune da 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 da, I've got to find that first note. So I'm going to sing it again, da, and see if I can find it on the piano. There it is, it's that one. So that first note of my tune is actually a G. Then the tune jumps up. Da, da, so that's a G, a C and a D. And the only other note I need is this one, where it goes down before going up again at the end, and that's a B. So the whole tune will have these letters. G, C, D, C, B, C. And now that I've added those letter names on, that's a piece of music that you could give to any musician, and they'll be able to have a go at playing it for you. They can see which notes to play, and they can have an idea of how long each note should last for. The next thing we're going to talk about is rhythm. Maybe you've got the idea for a beat for your song, maybe you've come up with a pattern or some kind of rhythm that you want to write down and you're not sure how to do it. There are a couple of ways you can make it easier for yourself. One of the most common things we do to help us remember rhythms, to help us learn rhythms, is we use words, and I've got the examples of a few rhythms and words that you might use to remember them written on the board here. Your teachers, your music teachers might use these words, they might use different words, it doesn't matter. You can even make up your own words to remember your rhythms, whatever words you like. But these are some ones that I use when I'm teaching and that I use to help me remember rhythms. So we've got a single beat note, a crotchet, that has one sound. We would say the word T. When we have two quavers, that's two notes joined together with a single bar across the top, that becomes coffee. It's got two syllables. Then we've got a group of four semiquavers, four notes joined together with two bars. That becomes Coca-Cola. So those notes all double in speed each time. So you've got tea, coffee, Coca-Cola. And don't forget that your rhythm might also have some rests in it. It's important, even if you don't necessarily know how to write out the rest perfectly, have a go at writing out some kind of squiggle, it'd be neater than mine, to show where the gaps are in your music. I've also written out two rhythms that have got three notes in them. One's got a long note at the beginning and one's got a long note at the end. So the first one we've got is hot chocolate, and that's got the long note at the start. And before you correct my spelling, I've missed out the O in the middle because we don't say hot chocolate. It's only got three syllables really. Hot chocolate. And the second one, lemonade, has got the long note at the end. Lemonade. Now you can make up lots of good rhythms just with those few words and the rest. Hot chocolate, lemonade, Coca-Cola, coffee. You can mix them up in any order you want. If you come up with a rhythm that doesn't fit those words, see if you can make up a phrase or some words that fit your rhythm. You might come up with a rhythm that you don't think can be written down with teas and coffees and Coca-Colas, so you might need to make up your own phrase. For example, a complicated sounding rhythm like this might become the phrase, I don't like cabbage, I like potatoes. I don't like cabbage, I like potatoes. Whatever phrase sticks in your mind is fine, and you can write that down on your piece of music and again give it to a musician and they'll be able to have a go at playing the rhythm that you've written. So your piece might end up looking something like this, a combination of lines and letters and squiggles and words, and that is absolutely fine. I've added in a few more things to my piece. I've written out my tune that I came up with before. I've added in a few more letters to it. I've written out a rhythm for the drums to have a go at playing, and I've even added in another part that I'm hoping might get played along at the same time as the first bit. I've written out next to it what instruments I think would sound good playing the different parts. I've imagined how those different parts and the instruments might sound together, and I've written them down in a way that I hope shows how you might play them. So writing music and coming up with your own music is all about getting the ideas from your head down onto a piece of paper in some way that another musician could understand what you mean. So whatever way you think the best way is to communicate your idea, that is absolutely fine. It could be like this, or it might be some other combination of traditional music notes and pictures and drawing and writing. Whatever you think makes the most sense for you, that's the way you should do it. And we really look forward to hearing all your wonderful compositions and seeing all the wonderful music that you've written.